Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and today I'll be sharing with you the pattern winner for our Crochet Society Subscription Box number 43. Now I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today for this special little video. I always enjoy bringing this to you, and I especially want to thank each and every one of you who voted for pattern 1, 2 or 3, which decided which pattern I was going to talk to you about today, let you know what my thoughts are about it and my little recommendation. And remember, it's all about, it's my personal taste and how I feel, and I always like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below as well, because I do know that some of you also purchased the boxes and you may have made a different pattern to the one that I'll be sharing with you today, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are as well. So just a little recap of what the yarn was in the box and what the patterns were that we had to vote for, and then we'll talk about the actual winning pattern. So the beautiful box that we received earlier on last month, which was about 3-4 weeks ago now, was this gorgeous box, and I love the way it has I think it's iridescent. Someone told me it was that effect in the light. Now in here there was obviously some notions and things, but the most important thing is the yarn and the hook, and I'll show you those, and the pattern book. Now this box, when you read the front, it actually says by Rosina Plain. Now that didn't mean anything to me at the time, but let me tell you, I've done a little bit of research and I have a lot to share with you about Rosina Plain. She is absolutely amazing. So the yarn that came in this box was gorgeous. Let me show it to you. It is 100% cotton. Now these cakes were actually made for Crochet Society especially, and I will share with you that there were 2 colorways, but before I do that, here's the first one, my absolute favorite, obviously, all the purples. How lucky was that? Now this one is called the Rosina, the color, and it's named after the designer of all the patterns. Who knew that at the time when I was unboxing the box? But I have since seen the unboxing by Crochet Society themselves, and also the wonderful Rosina is on there as well. So if any of you, are interested, please go and have a look at their video as well. And the other color is called Jacquard, and it's just simply a white. So these 2 cakes together were used to create the beautiful projects in the boxes. Now they are a sport weight, which means they are a very, very thin yarn for someone like me. As you can see here, very, very thin, almost thread-like. I do believe that it's very similar to, is it the Hobie Twisters? I'm not sure, don't quote me on the name, but I have seen a lot of other people use this type of yarn before, but it is a very, very soft cotton. It recommends that you use a 3.25mm hook, which is the hook that actually came in the box. Isn't that a gorgeous little polymer clay hook? Very, very pretty. And as we said, we spoke about the colors. So I was thrilled, as you all know, whoever watched the unboxing, at the colors. And I do know that there's a few other purple fans out there. So it was just so amazing to get those 2 beautiful cakes of yarn. And it says fresh cotton cake on them. And as I said, they are specially made for Crochet Society. So that was very nice to get those. Now, as I said, thank you to everyone who voted. It was very exciting because at one time it was very, very close, and I will show you the patterns that you had to choose from, and then I will let you know who the winner is. So the very, very first pattern that we came across, and everyone had the opportunity to vote if they wanted to see me make it, was this gorgeous scarf. How pretty is that, guys? And then the second pattern was the let me get it, the baby blanket. How pretty is that? I love the way the colors change as the cake changes. And lucky last, which was beautiful, was this hook roll, which I imagine a lot of you voted for, knowing how handy it would be for us crocheters, and all the tulip lovers were voting for this one as well. So let's see who the winning pattern was, Now I will tell you that there were 37 votes in total, and the scarf got 10 votes. The baby blanket got 15 votes, and the hook roll got 12 votes. So the overall winner was that gorgeous baby blanket. And let's be real, it definitely is beautiful. Now, I will show you what I made, and I will tell you why I made what I made, which is the pattern for the, you're thinking, what have you made? I only did this much. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll tell you why I only did that little swatch for you to see. How pretty is that, guys? Absolutely love it. Now, the reason why I decided to only make that amount for you to show you and tell you about how beautiful the yarn feels, etc., is because when I looked at the video and the pattern itself, when I read, the blanket wasn't going to be very big at all. I'll show you the actual size that it would have been. So it would have been 48, can you see that, guys? 48 by 65 centimeters or 19 by 26 inches. Now, this would barely cover a little pram, you know, a baby like lying in a pram. So I decided that for the purpose of, you know, this video, that I would actually crochet up, you know, 2 lots, which is actually half of what they wanted us to crochet across, just to show you how beautiful it actually does come up. But I did learn something amazing that I want to share with you. And some of you may already know this, but this is so new to me that I was so very, very excited and couldn't wait to share. Now, Rosina Plain is an amazing crocheter, and she does do various techniques of crochet, but her favorite one is mosaic, and I would say that she's quite an expert in mosaic crochet. Now, if you haven't already discovered her, please go across to her YouTube channel, Rosina Crochets, and I will have the name of it down in the description box for you. Now, she's got quite a few cows on there, one that is currently running as well. Beautiful, beautiful mosaic work. And what I love about Rosina, when you get past the fact that it's in UK terminology, if you don't use UK and you use US like I do, it's very, very simple to, you know, in your head interpret the pattern as she's showing you. But she does give you a lot of tips along the way when she's, you know, putting across her little tutorial. And she did all the tutorials for the patterns in the book, so each and every one of them. So I was watching her video tutorial and reading the pattern, and it's a very well written pattern as well, I must say, because I was challenging myself to do one and or the other so that I could see if I could understand the written pattern, not just follow along, you know, with her YouTube tutorial. And as I said, you know, she does a wonderful job. I must highly recommend her. She does give you tips along the way. But if you're worried about it being in UK terminology, please don't worry at all, because in essence, we really only use the single crochets and the double crochets, which in US terminology is the double crochet and the treble crochet. So when you get that through your head, it's all easy to follow. So I, you know, give her 10 out of 10 for her tutorials and her written patterns. But the most amazing thing that I discovered, which is so good, because they did tell us to do like a little fringe in the pattern book because there wasn't enough yarn. But if I was to do this on my own, I would do an envelope border, you know, the one that's got one on each side and then you connect them together. And I have only had experience with mosaic once before, and it was a lovely tutorial, but you have to do the slip stitch, and it is quite time consuming, and, you know, like you really need to be focused when you're doing it. But what Rosina does, which some of you may know, but if you don't, you'll be as excited as I am. When you start off your mosaic crochet, because this is the overlay technique, I believe, which is where you go across, cut your yarn, and then reattach your yarn every single row. You always start with a little, like a soldier on the end on either side, a single crochet or a double crochet in UK terminology on the side. But what she does is she does the single crochet, US terminology, then leaves a chain and then starts the pattern repeat. And at the other end, she has a chain and then puts her end stitch. So what that creates is a spot for you. Can you see that, guys? To actually create your border in. So all across there, and I don't know how well you can see it, there's the chains. So when you watch her tutorial how to create the envelope border, oh my goodness, it is just, you know, it's just amazing. That's one of the best things that I can take away from this you know, box for me. Not only the gorgeous yarn that I'll be able to apply to a different project, because as I said, I didn't think that it was fair to just make something that small with that amount of gorgeous yarn, so I will apply it to something else definitely. But in saying that, I'm sure whatever project I create will be absolutely gorgeous. And this pattern, I would use this with different yarn. I would prefer a thicker acrylic to use with it, to create a blanket, which is something that I would really like to do in the future. And when I do, of course, I'll share it with you. So that special technique to do the envelope border was amazing. So I was so very, very happy, you know, to learn that. And the other thing that I learned from this is that she highly recommends that when you start off your chain, and you do your first row of your double crochets or single crochets, that you work in the back bump, because it just makes it easier when you're doing the bottom of your border. So that was another thing that I learned today. So I just want to thank you all, you know, once again for helping me tick one of my goals for this year, which is trying to create at least one project from each and every box. Because as I said, I've got many boxes that have been sitting there in the past, and this is the first year, thanks to you guys, that I've actually been creating something. So I'm still calling this a win today, even though it is just a little tiny swatch, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. I have to tell you guys that I was a little bit frustrated at knotting these ends in, but in the end I didn't let it beat me, because I wanted to make sure that I had it ready for you. But how pretty is that? I didn't get an opportunity to get the color change, but let me tell you, I absolutely love this purple. It's almost like a little placemat if you're having a cup of tea with a friend, or you can, you know, put your mug on there and your little plate. But I am going to keep this as a keepsake from this box, and you know, use that yarn for something else, because that little tiny blanket wasn't going to do it for me. Maybe I'll attempt one of the other patterns and let you know. But the winner was the blanket, and I just needed to let you know that, you know, your votes were all counted and were very much appreciated. So if any of you have the same subscription box, number 43, please let me know if you've created something from it. I would absolutely love to see it. And if you want to you know, send a photo in to my email address, I will be more than happy to showcase it for everyone to, you know, ooh and ah over your beautiful project. So I hope you're all keeping well, and I shall leave you all now to get back to your crochet and whatever you were doing before you joined me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, it's my absolute pleasure. So I'll say take care, everybody, and I shall see you all again in another video. Bye bye for now.